Star Killer, famed scourge of every opposition, the Broly of Star Wars, untamed, unparalleled menace, pillar of power, greatest student, apprentice arguably to the dark side, but also willful to stand against it. You said you stay away! I lied. That is Star Killer, aka Galen Merrick. A boy took it from his home, but joined an empire that will forever scar him like never seen before. First is Zarbon of Dragon Ball Z. To me, one of the most underrated but newfound loved and parody characters. A character that showcased a great sense of force and intrigue. The famed prince of a world like never seen before. And the idea of being humanoid but also being monstrosity like never seen before as well. In powerfulness. A brute with a great scowl and humor to match. But, as always, who would win between these two? Hope you guys will enjoy as always. If you're new here, please leave a like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. If you are new here and really enjoy the content, please obviously again subscribe. But check out my other content as well. Hit the bell icon down below. It will really help me out. We're on the road to 200 subscribers, and I appreciate so dearly all the support for my consistency, my back-to-back producement of content. I hope you guys will keep enjoying each other fling of bangers, and I can't wait to get into more as always. But enough with the talk. Let's go and get into this video. And as always, have a great discussion on why two characters you would know you might think shouldn't be compared do actually have some interesting similarities with the lords that they serve. Please enjoy why in the title, why Star Killer versus Zarbon is a complete landslide. Star Killer, aka Galen Merrick, a boy of interesting turmoil, agony, and every aspect of depression. A character that is infamously, notoriously, undisputably one of the most beloved and arguably in a lot of people's proclaim most interesting characters seen across not only in Star Wars in general, but most importantly in Legends, as he hails from that and has made the most, not only biggest impact within his games was Cal Kestis before Cal Kestis, and strike every bar for a legend like never seen before. And because of hailing from the case of obviously the Legends verse, would go to heights like never seen before, be pillared to extremes of power that couldn't even be comprehended by any mere Jedi or Sith. He was meant to root out the rebels. His sacrifice will only inspire them. This man died and was brought back stronger than ever. Galen Merrick, pronounced as Galen Merrick in the account, codename quote-unquote Star Killer, unquote, was a human male force-sensitive man who became an accomplished warrior during the Imperial era. Merrick was trained in secret by the Sith Lord Darth Vader, aka the Chosen One Anakin, and was known as Star Killer, but came to the light side shortly before his death. Merrick was the son of two Jedi Knights, as he will go about being taken after the death of them, in the case of being, Kinto and Merrick, born on the Wookiee homeworld of Kashyyyk. In the aftermath of the Clone Wars following his mother's death, Kashyyyk was invaded by the Galactic Empire as a target of the Great Jedi Purge. Kinto was confronted and slain in a lightsaber duel by the Dark Lord of Sith, Darth Vader, who discovered the fugitive Jedi's son. In the process, goading the orphan's raw strength in the Force, Vader abducted and ultimately raised Merrick, who became Star Killer, to embrace the dark side of the Force. In time, Merrick forgot his past and even his birth name, having been taken from his home as a child by the Dark Lord. Though trained in the ways of the Sith, the rule of too dedicated but as well mixed dictated that in this case there only could be two Sith at a time, and therefore Star Killer could not consider himself a true Sith while his master was still apprenticed to Darth Sidious. As such, Vader kept his existence a secret, bestowing to him the call sign quote-unquote Star Killer, unquote. He was utilized as a hidden agent of the Empire, dispatched to deal with a problematic individual or multiple individuals akin to Darth Maul, a Sith assassin. In this sense, right, While he trained for years, Starkiller aspired to truly become a Dark Lord of the Sith, believing it was his destiny to help Vader overthrow Sidious and usurp his throne as Galactic Emperor. As his training neared completion, Starkiller was formally acknowledged as an apprentice by Vader after surviving his trials, and was ordered by Vader to kill the few remaining members of the Fallen Jedi Order, specifically the Jedi Masters Raheem Kota, Khazad-dûm Paretis, and Shakti. Starkiller completed his missions, prevailing against his more experienced targets, only to be betrayed by his master after the Emperor confronted them. Stunned by his turn of events, Starkiller nevertheless remained loyal to Vader, and became fomenting a rebellion against the reign of the Galactic Empire as part of his master's plan to dispose Sidious. The mission was another ruse. However, after the apprentice convinced Bail Brester, Organa, Garm Bel Iblis, and Mon Mothma to join him, Vader had the senators arrested and left Merrick for dead, betraying him once more, revealing he was nothing but a tool in a plot by Sidious and Vader to crush the rebellion before it even began. However, he lived. By resolving to rescue his allies, he managed to infiltrate the Death Star before the Emperor could execute them. Although he was killed in the ensuing battle aboard the battle station, the senators were able to escape with the help of Merrick's companions, Proxy and Juno Eclipse. As a result of the apprentice's actions, the Alliance to Restore the Republic was formed, uniting Malconites across the galaxy under the symbol of Merrick's family. With being cloned later on and coming back with a new vengeance and actually awaking the inner demon that never could be opened with Merrick's actual original body, Starkiller would perform feats like never seen before when he was alive. This man, Merrick, now becomes a whole different level of a living legend pillar of the Force, and is just a uber Chad dominator thrill for killing. He's a master in 2 to 3 different forms of lightsaber dueling in Serestu, Cyberco, and different dual wielding of his lightsabers backwards akin to Bodakuna, as Bodakuna really just stole his whole flow, word for word, ball for ball. Starkiller would eclipse multiple different famed Jedi Masters and people, as he was seen in the Legends verse, where multiple different acclaimed different form of warriors and people of the Sith and the Jedi lie in his feats and scaling over multiple different acclaimed people, and his feats over big monsters and showcasings of his feats will put him way beyond multiple characters that, because of the fact of at this time scaling easily to planet level different forms of different multiple planets to reasonably dwarf star level extremes, would very much solidify him as being easily a guy not to be trifled with. But like multiple different consistent Star Wars characters, the fact that he could ever, even though he does not truly scale in a greater high-end Force showing to Darth Vader or Darth Sidious, the fact that he can somewhat keep up with them in any mixed different estimate, like others, should get him very much Dwarf Star level plus 2 multiple times Dwarf Star level very confidently. His greatest feat demonstrating this is when he was actually able to destroy a actual whole Death Star akin ship and or thing that would, instill very much the reasonable shine of the ridiculous boast in power and devastation. As this man single-handedly was able to survive the entire split in half full cleave with his sheer might proportion of power, which exerts so many times it's not even funny. When it comes down to speed, though, obviously like any other higher end case Star Wars character, he would reasonably be scaling to great deal the multiple times speed of light, to very effortlessly and persistently multiple times FTL with lasers, scaling to people that scale way beyond this stuff, generating force lightning that negates durability, aka hits beyond durability on not only a physical but spiritual and mental level with the Force. He's one of the most uncanny, crack, big dog users of the Force like never seen before, and is easily a guy that is personification of the guy your girlfriend told you not to worry about like never seen before. An exceptional user of the Force, cracked as hell, a durable beast like never seen before, and in every excerpt of force, skill, and other aspects, stands as not only a understatement in his name as a literal star killer, but every fame bringer of demise, decimation, and absolute obliteration to any different plethora of opposition. There is no threat of weakness in Star Killer, the ultimate Jedi and Sith menace. But how does he stand to Zarbon, the right-hand man of the famed Emperor of the Universe? Zarbon, right-hand man of Frieza, born of an unknown world but akin to the case of Galen Marek, was taken in by Frieza after his people were conquered, enslaved, and went through the ranks of being in the Frieza army and or the case of the Frieza force or the Frieza empire, and became his right-hand lieutenant, with basically having him and another person being Dodoria basically be his two top-tier goons. Zarbon would scale decently to the case of Vegeta before his Zenkai boost, and by proxy scaling to him would scale over a bunch of feats kind of pre-essence and kind of like predestined hyper greater showcasing in the matter of not only the Saiyan Saga version of, Vegeta calmly, multiple different displays obviously from there, and mixed scale to reasonably over King Vegeta to mix argue that this man Vegeta already upscaled when he was a kid, right? So the fact that he overscales a bunch of different versions of different characters in comparison, like just as much as Vegeta is scaling base to base, but in his monster form, aka when he turns into this big Brock crocodile looking motherfucker, right? Who scales over that version of Vegeta until eventually he would be killed after Vegeta's Zenkai boost and blown to bits within his stomach, right? He would be scaling very much concretely most time in the case of the Dwarf Star level plus level case of scaling, but you could reasonably try to get him possibly to multi if you believe that he gets a super large, boost in power by the case of his monster form, which I don't think is too iffy to possibly say. But as well, with speed, right, because of the fact of scaling to Vegeta and countless other people that have multiple cases of massively faster than light speed showcases that go beyond the comprehension of almost any from a person in comparison, right, that you could see in different guidelines of not only Dragon Ball to early Dragon Ball Z and different other sayings to things where characters are already pushing the speed of light to being multiple times, thousands, hundred thousands, and Zarbon could easily be at this point over dozens of hundreds of thousands to make stretch millions of times the speed of light. He also has key waves and blasts that could go reasonably at the perceivable speed of light, so that very much can consider him to be in that type of rack of all trade speed and showcasings. He is a decent form of martial artist, again keeping up with Vegeta, and this monster form is hella strong and can clobber and absolutely foderize the shit out of this man Vegeta, and even at his Zenkai boost could at least decently stand to him until Vegeta obviously got serious and ended him right then and there. If it's a novice or a scaling presented, this is a very mixed toss-up. Zarbon has every argument to reasonably said to be faster than Starkiller, but there's a big argument that Starkiller has a more better consistent line of scaling to reasonably say more decisively that he is truly multi-dwarf star level plus, while this man Zarbon would just be multi-dwarf star level and hypothetical. But because he's so faster, it wouldn't entirely be a just one shot with the case of obviously, Star Killer eventually getting a very much big critical hit and getting a grip of him with the Force mixed bag. He could possibly big cut into him and it would be GG's, but there's a lot of big strong arguments to say that simply put that even with the case of him not being entirely on that level, that he could possibly break him down and push past the case of his mixed superiority in just one different mix plus of durability, and could have the mixed argument going for him that the more and more they fight, he can maybe figure out a way to set him up for the bad, which mixed bag is the physical difference between them, as Zarbon is physically, I would say, in every argument, unless you want to say about the sheer force of will with the Force itself, stronger than him, that he could do different forms of different choking, submissions, could drown him if they're fighting near water, like he tried to do different occasions in mixed bag with this man Vegeta. But I would say very much you could say consistently most of the time probably would be in the best right for arguably combat to ever be seen by Zarbon in this sense, with Starkiller being trained by not only the man, the myth himself, the Black Dread, and Darth Vader has a bunch of different, not only crazy amount of scaling porridge and feats over the most high-end form of people, and it's probably again the most precisely to be said, right, more concrete thing to say that Starkiller would just overscale, overhack, and very much it just pick different attributes of skill, outmaneuver this man, you know what I'm saying, Zarbon, and with his great array of different versatility and senses like never seen before, should more proficiently gauge into what he's going to do and outdo him in almost every sense regard, to very much make him be undoubtedly way beyond the comprehension of him, and get him again the most decisive victory, to say the least. Because again, like I said, to reiterate, Starkiller is the best sensitive, vet of wool that he's ever seen, right? And so in these type of areas, I would say that Starkiller should win. Now, if it was just very much cordially, solidly equalizing the stats to the same degree, I still think Starkiller would win, but it would probably make Zarbon be more of a big challenge for him, literally and figuratively. But like I said, it is all around a flat line between the two. With the case of Starkiller, the fame obvious, obliterator of a Starkiller, greatest Sith and Jedi across Star Wars within canon or legends as well. Having every argument with, again, every form of scaling chain that he has and is showcasing to be bonkersly way beyond the comprehension of Zarbon. Even if Zarbon is the hulking green brute that we know he is, akin to Hulk, this big ass fucking iguana out here, could most likely in physical prowess put him down, but in actual combat showcasing, not even close. I hope you guys have enjoyed. I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Peace out, my army. Love y'all.